I'm just gonna ask for you guys to excuse me right now if I start crying. I've been trying to get through this episode, and I've been trying to record this episode for probably about 2 days now. Well, actually, I'm lying, not 2 days. I've been trying to record this all day. You know what I mean? I should have did it way earlier in the day when I had some get up and go. But the more I think about it, the more I look at pictures and stuff like that, it gets harder and harder and harder. So as you guys can see, it's not the normal setup. You know what I mean? My intro is not on there because this is not about me. This goes out to Kobe Bryant, Gigi Bryant, and the other 7 people that passed away in the tragic failing of his helicopter. I'm shaking because my stomach hurt when I talk about it. Like it's really sick, and I didn't think that this was gonna hit me so hard, but there's reasons why. There's reasons why I feel the way I feel. I'm gonna try to attempt to make this video exactly 24 minutes and 8 seconds long, just for Kobe. I'm gonna attempt it no matter how much I gotta take out or whatever has to happen. This is gonna be specific to him, and I'm jumping episodes. This is gonna be episode 24.8. I know I just did 19 or something, and I'm gonna go back and do the rest of them in order, but I'm not setting the mood today. There's no other segments. This is strictly dedicated to Kobe. And I just want to tell y'all how I feel and how he impacted my life, because he was that important to my life and I never knew. I'm not a Lakers fan, but I've always been a Kobe Bryant fan, always. When people come to me and they ask me who's the greatest that ever lived to play the game, I can say Michael Jordan because I was alive during that era. Kobe Bryant is second. Dirk Nowitzki because that's my favorite player of all time, and then LeBron James, and then we can argue about the after that we can argue. But those 4, that's my greatest of all time. And I've always said that. I've always fought Kobe's case, and I don't know how people skip him and just put LeBron ahead of him. But like the saying says now, there's no more debating. It's just appreciating now. We don't need to debate who's better. We don't need to debate who's the best. You know what I mean? Like, we don't need to debate none of that. And I think this whole situation hits me so hard. It hits me hard for a few reasons. But one of the main reasons that it hits me hard because a lot of this stuff that I was watching and looking at, I was realizing some things, hearing other people say it. So one of the things that I heard random fans say is, this one is hitting hard because Kobe raised us. If you're a sports fan, if you're a sports fanatic like I am, Kobe not only touched people in basketball, but the NFL, the MLB, golf. I think Kobe owned, like, he was an ambassador of a soccer team overseas. He was close with Neymar. He inspired a whole world. And he got to do he got to live out a few things that some people will never, like, probably 99% of us will never ever get to do. And I heard this from Colin Cowherd, and the way he put it was just amazing. So I have to recycle it. And he said Kobe was able to live out 2 life terms. You know what I mean? When Kobe first came from high school to the NBA, that was number 8. He was the young Kobe. He was the go-getter Kobe. That was the him and Shaq era where they won 3 championships together. And then he went from that, being a young kid at 18, up until whenever him and Shaq departed, they had their little issues. And he had his little rape scandal or whatever happened, which he was not guilty for. So, and in my eyes, it is what it is. He wasn't guilty, and I don't think he did it. I just don't think he did it. But he was young at the time. So he went from that reckless Kobe and, you know, the non-teachable Kobe in the Shaq era to the Paul Gasol era, where he was wearing number 24 and they won 2 more championships. And we all watched it. We watched it right before our eyes. We watched Kobe from a kid grow up. He gave us 20 years of his life, dedicating his life to the game. 20 years. So it hits home because if you're a basketball player, at one point in time, if you've ever picked up anything and shot it in anything, I don't care if it's laundry, I don't care if it's trash going into the trash can, if it's dishes going into the sink, I don't care what it is. Whatever you shot, at one point in life, you screamed out Kobe. That's having an impact on your life, because some people will never even know why they was even saying it. It was just the thing to say. It's the thing to say still today. And that's the smallest impact that he's had on people's lives. But watching Kobe from 19 to 41, I mean, this guy was like a dad to us. You know what I mean? He was a role model. He was an ambassador. He was a childhood hero. He was a father, a loving father. He was a son. He was a husband. He was a family guy. Like, his impact on the community and in the world of us, of everybody, was absolutely phenomenal. It was absolutely outstanding. And the thing that stood out, like the thing that I can relate the most to with Kobe is, as a black man growing up in the United States, when you're young, you're only pretty much told that you're only gonna make it out playing sports and rapping. You know what I mean? That's the only way you're gonna make it out. So seeing Kobe grow up, because he's from Philadelphia, and he moved over to Italy for a while, and he started playing basketball over there. But he's from Philly, and Philly is close to New York. You know what I mean? So it relates and it hits home a little bit more because it's so close to home. It's so close to where I came from, that Kobe is like, he was a childhood hero in many different ways. He was the reason why I felt like I can. He was one of the reasons why I felt like I can grow up and be the president if I wanted to. You know what I mean? Just off of the impact and the stuff that he came from, and the interviews that he had, and how his hustle was. And the Mamba mentality strictly means your work ethic. You have to work harder. You never stop working. You never stop striving for you never stop striding for what your goal in life is. You find your purpose, you focus in on it, and you execute it. Period, point blank. Kobe never gave up. He never gave up. And I have a few stats here that I want to say. Like I said, he was one of the few to get drafted straight from high school to the league. They don't even do that no more. So you know he was one of a kind. He didn't even have to go to college. They straight out of high school to the NBA as a young kid. Boom. He was originally drafted by the Charlotte Hornets, but they traded him, which I know they're killing themselves now. You know what I mean? But he was originally drafted by the Charlotte Hornets. They traded him to the Lakers. He played 20 seasons with the Lakers. He gave the Lakers 20 seasons, yo. 20 seasons, 20 years of your life dedicated to one association. It's absolutely amazing. It's absolutely amazing. He's a five-time NBA champ, an 18-time All-Star, 11-time All-NBA first team, 2-time NBA scoring champion. And I mean, that's just a little bit. This dude has stats for days. He has stats and stats for days. He was 5th in field goals made with 11,719. He was 6th in minutes played with 48,617, which equals to around 810 hours that he dedicated to his life. And it's probably more than that, honestly. It's probably more than that. He's now the 4th leading scorer, because the crazy thing is LeBron passed him the day before he passed away, which is really, really, like, it's sickening, because if you go watch LeBron's interview after he passed him, he was just giving homage to Kobe, so like how much he respect him and how the impact that he had on his life and things like that. And he passed him. He was able to stay alive long enough to see LeBron pass him, and congratulated him like nothing was ever wrong. It's amazing, yo. Like, it's amazing how stuff happens and how the world works. It's just amazing. Not only that, but the dude was intelligent. he spoke fluent English, of course. He spoke fluent Spanish, and he also spoke fluent Italian. I don't even know, I know the basic Spanish, but that's about it. You know what I mean? Like, he's not an average guy. He's not an average guy. And dude is prolific. He's prolific, man. Like, he's created history by scoring 81 points in a game. His very last game, my man scored 60 points at 41 or 40. He scored 60 points. When I think about the Mamba mentality, one of my fondest moments of remembering him was when he tore his Achilles and they wanted him to come out of the game to go straight to the locker room because he was down. He couldn't get up. He was down for a while. But instead of like just giving up and not shooting his free throws, my man got up. He walked on his own power. He walked to the free throw line. He shot his free throws. I want to say he made both of them on a torn Achilles. Like, you can't even move your leg most of the time after you tear your Achilles. You got to get carried off. He got up on his own power, walked to the free throw line, made both of his shots, and then he proceeded to go to the locker room. Mamba mentality, man. Your body can withstand anything, no matter what the doctors say. It's all a mentality. It's all how you want to have impact. With just that alone, that little moment right there, that really showed me how strong Kobe really was. Not only physically, but mentally too. Mentally and spiritually, whether you know it or not, because in your head, after you hear something pop or you tear something, every bad thought is going through your head. And he somehow was able to rise above all of that, you know what I mean, to still get up, shoot the free throws, and then walk on his own power all the way to the locker room. The crazy thing is, I think the most crazy thing about this situation is, I believe God works in mysterious ways. All right. So y'all can say that it's a coincidence or whatever the case may be, but Kobe was drafted in 1996, right? So if you do the math, Kobe was drafted in 96. This year is year 2020. You do the subtraction, you add up the math, you know what that equals to? That equals to the number 24. Kobe was drafted exactly 24 years ago. And his last number, when he came back, he switched numbers to 24. You can say what you want to say, you know what I mean? But I think everything happens for a reason. And I think God was calling some of his angels back. Because the most thing is, I was trying to stay away from this part because this is where it really hits home for me, is when I think about his wife and his family and everybody, she lost a husband and she lost a daughter. Now, the reason that this hits home for me, with everything else being said, the reason that this hits home for me is because a lot of people don't know it, but I'm putting it in the atmosphere. I'm telling people, at one point in time, I had a child, but I never got to see her. You know what I mean? My girlfriend at the time was pregnant and she ended up having a miscarriage, and I can remember the day as if it was yesterday. It was probably the worst day of my life. And I can only imagine what all of those families are going through, because to lose somebody, like I lost my daughter and I never got to see her. But these people thought they was just going through a normal day of life. They thought that, they just gonna go to practice. I'm gonna see them later. And boom, this happens. So they never get to see these people again. And I can't imagine having to wake up every day, not being able to hug or hold your daughter and your husband, from everybody that was involved, the pilot, all of the other family members. I just can't imagine how they feel. I can't, because I know how I felt when I had to hold my girlfriend as she went through this pain. It was unbearable. Like it's not something that I would ever wish on my worst enemy ever in my life. And to watch Kobe grow up, to watch him, to have him raise me as a sports fan, I feel like I lost my father and my family as well. And in a spiritual spiritual aspect, I guess you can say. Because people don't really know. There's only a few things that really bring the world together. And to me, sports can do it and music can do it. It's not too many other things that bring unity. And I know God does some things to get people's attention, and he has to make big moves sometimes to get a nation's attention. And I'm just gonna take it as he needed his angels to come back home with all of them people. But boy, losing a 13-year-old child, and I want to say all of the other kids was under 15 too, because they were playing with her. They were on the same team as her. They all was going to practice. And to lose your husband and your wife just out of the blue, I feel like I've taken life for granted, and I haven't told the people that I love, that's closest to me, I haven't told them that I love them enough. And I want to apologize, because I don't know what I would do without some of y'all. I wanted to get through this without crying, but that was the part I was trying to stay away from. And like I said, I just wanted to tell y'all how much he meant to me, like how much I can relate to him. And this one hit a little bit different. But the crazier part about this situation is Kobe passed away on the same day that Nipsey Hussle finally got a Grammy. And like I said, you can say that things work like that it's just a conspiracy or whatever, but I believe in God, man. And I believe he works in very, very mysterious ways. And I just want, in closing, to say that my heart, my prayers, and my condolences go out to every single one of them people, family that was lost. And I will never stop praying for you guys. For anybody that ever lost somebody, I will never stop, because I can't imagine it. I've lost my daughter, and I have to wait to see her on the other side. And that's kind of what keeps me going at times. But I mean, I really don't have nothing else to say. This one hit me a little harder than what I thought it would. I never thought I would be crying over somebody that I've never met. But when you lose somebody or something that's close to you, I was invested in Kobe. He was invested in me. And he didn't even know. He didn't even know how he was impacting me. So I just want to say, if you got problems with somebody close to you, man, fix it. And tell the people that's closest to you how much you love them every single day. Because you don't know when you're not going to be able to tell them again. With that being said, enjoy this tribute. And like Kobe would say, Mamba out.
Dear Kobe.
Dear Kobe.
Dear Kobe, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Kobe Bean.
Kobe, thank you, man.
Dear Kobe, thank you.
Thank you for your passion, your commitment, and dedication to basketball.
Thank you for showing us that the number 24 isn't just a number on your jersey, but the amount of hours in a day that you have to devote to the game to be the best.
Thank you for giving and giving and giving.
Thank you for pushing through when your body says no, but your heart said yes.
Thank you for the games that you refuse to lose and the ones you always seem destined to win.
Thank you for your endless drive.
For showing us that even on your worst day, there's nothing else to do but push harder.
For showing us there's no such thing as magic, but only hard work.
Thank you for being you, competitive.
And his daughter in the building, breaking down the game.
I love this. Hurry, do it.
From the bottom of my heart, thank you. And what can I say? Mamba out.